Okay, oops. I'm losing my organization here. Okay, here we go. Typing in my little message. And while we wait for people to come on, I'll just read my little disclaimer. Coming into Being series here. Today is February 2nd. Happy birthday for those of us who have a birthday. I have a couple friends who have. My name is Marianne Carduner with unboundedandfree.com. I'm not a medical doctor or therapist. I don't diagnose, prescribe, or heal. I can scan your frequency and energy patterning and tell you what I see, but that's it. So please consult a doctor or therapist for professional advice. All content is copyright protected, and you may not use our content in any way, shape, or form without my written permission. So welcome back. Welcome back to those who are coming back. Welcome to those who are new. It's been a little bit of an interesting start to the year. I feel like everything that is done, it's like done new. It's done for the first time. So this last month was really kind of feeling into that, going into deeper space, and just tuning into what needs to be done and going in, basically just going in deeper. So the balance meditations that I did offline, so for those who joined in at that time, or also for the re-listen, that was a really interesting experience. And the last one definitely saw that purity wave that's coming through beginning of January. And so and people are starting to feel it now, so it's interesting. So anyways, coming into being is going to take a little bit of a different format. So the first Wednesday of each month today is going to be a group, whoever wants to show up and do what we've been doing before. But then afterwards, we're going to go into more kind of focused sessions instead of kind of the open group forum, just to get people in that habit for themselves. So I think a lot of us get really busy with life. There's a lot going on, and we kind of try to take that time for ourselves, but don't always. And so using this as that format to come into that place where we just go into that state of being and connect more deeply. So let's see where we are at today with that. A lot of people are, there's kind of a little bit of exhaustion showing up, disorientation, not knowing where to go. So very interesting. So let's just take a nice deep breath in wherever you are, and to just relax and kind of go into deeper, quiet space. A lot of emotional level is coming out here. And it's interesting because it's kind of got this flaccid kind of quality to it. So this lack of orientation, this lack of non-definition. That's a good one. Yeah, non-definition. So that's okay. This is really a new year, a new everything. So it's okay not to have really strong definition right now, because it's in the process of, first of all, it's winter, so there's that cycle that's coming through. Hi, Ilaria, good to see you. And there's so much changeover that so both these things, at least right now, make it a little bit more, okay, definition. Let's kind of get that done slowly instead of jumping right into to something. So let's take another nice deep breath in. Releasing the air out of the lungs, and you want going, squeezing the air all the way out of the lungs. And the in-breath just kicks right back in. So coming into that quieter, deeper place within. And so let's allow ourselves, so let's just kind of play around with this one, and let's give ourselves that space to just be in that state of non-definition. So it's not exactly nothingness. There's a sense of something, but it's sort of like all there's a sense of the pieces, but they're kind of just all floating around, and it's like all the puzzle pieces are laid out, but they're not put together yet. So let's just take a deep breath into that and let yourself kind of relax into that feeling. And it's really hard because there's this like wanting to pick up the pieces and start putting them together. Well, let's just kind of take a deep breath into that and maybe resist the temptation. I tried to get infected today to have a super to have the super green pass. It's paradoxical. God, that's so funny. The one has to come to this point of yeah, that's a good one. Well, apparently, if you look on TikTok, there's lots of ways to fake a positive test with Coca-Cola and kiwi, and so the teenagers are doing this to get out of exams. So, hey, maybe that's you can fake your test and get the green pass, the colossal green pass, the super green pass. Yeah. So yeah, and I know you're in that place of just trying to figure out how these pieces are going to fall into place. But let's just take that time to just really be present in that, relaxing into that. Yeah, and it's hard, and there's that kind of the heart space is just kind of wanting to. There's some emotional pieces, stuff in the heart piece of just wanting to have this be over with. That's not the true heart space, by the way. So letting yourself just kind of sink into that. And feeling that tension around not being able to get that definition that is so wanted, because then you feel like you have the definition, then you can relax. But let's try to relax before we get that definition. That way we can kind of ease into even greater a greater place. Yeah, so that hardness, and again, that hardness is really around the chest and the heart. It kind of goes up into the throat too. So shifting out of that, yeah. Kind of allowing ourselves to kind of fall into that helplessness, hopelessness, inability, inability, being unable to, whatever. You can fill in the blank on that one. Yeah, so that hardness, I wanna work with this because I can feel that starting to lift off, and it feels like hardness, so that's why I'm describing it that way. It feels hard. It's this pretty strong distortion there. There's some religious programming in that. Certainly governmental. So it's the larger scale control factions that are kind of still, there's residue in those energetic layers. And part of what triggers them is that piece of reacting, so that it's like it's there, and going into that place of trying to do something, trying to feel differently, kind of even pulls them in more closely, and of course constrains you even more, because it's like compresses you even more. So breathing, yeah, just kind of focusing in on the breath. And feel that tension. It's like you kind of want to let go, but it's also, it's a little bit of habitual, but that place of, we're so used to taking action, to reacting to something, to we feel discomfort, and so doing something to shift that, even if it's just kind of shifting around the way we are sitting or standing. Just focusing on the breath and the upper chest. And just keep focusing on that. I won't. I can make a note of what I'm sensing afterwards, but not right now, because that will pull the focus away from this. So again, just noticing that breath, your breath, noticing the movement of the chest. And maybe seeing if you can expand the breath, even if it's by one count each time. So if you're doing an in-breath of count of 3, do an in-breath count of 4. Do that for a couple rounds or so, and then try to expand it to another count. Maybe also becoming aware of kind of the outline of your physical body. Yeah, there we go. Shifting out into a much higher state of being in this quiet and stillness. So when we get to that quiet and stillness, that is when we hit a higher state. And it might not be a really huge, big difference from where we were, but it's higher up. It's a more coherent state of being. So allowing yourself to just fall into that, relax into that. Oh. Okay, now there's some mental level stuff that's coming up. Out of that worry pattern that kind of circles around. Yeah, and I literally see it circling around the head. So down to the breath, down to the movement of the rib cage with the breath. And let's even focus it further down by noticing the movement of the breath down and how it's affecting the lower part of the abdomen. Yeah, nice. There we go. Yeah, I am seeing some beings of light that are showing up. I call them beings of light because that's literally what they look like. Just these figures that are light. Who are these beings? Elegant beings. There's a lot of elegant beings, or that are part of that grouping of people, or beings. There's one called Lantos. There are the elementals that are showing up also, so that's kind of interesting. They have kind of this different grouping, so part of it is more information is coming to me, so it's not that these beings were not showing up before, it's just that I'm noticing it more, that information. I'm noticing that level of information more again. So just allowing yourself to, let's see, how can I guide you with this? Okay, come into your center, your spine, your sternum, breathing in your in the movement in your chest. Extending your awareness out without leaving that center to arm's length out. Just jump out to arm's length out. So imagine yourself sitting in a circle of awakened humans. So whether they're on right now or not doesn't matter. And then beyond that circle, okay, let me get that. There we go. There we go. So it's almost like there's a wheel that's formed of that level. And beyond that, so outside of that circle, it's like there's a circle of, I just see them as colored lights, and it's points of light that are formed around this circle. So giving yourself this time right now to just be connected in this deeper place. And feeling that peace, that quiet. Yeah, very nice. And it's almost like they're acting like a buffer zone. It's not that they're doing anything in particular. They are very present, and of course, just by their presence, there's a lot that happens. But it's nothing like specific, like they're working on people directly. Sometimes that does happen. But it's just their presence kind of letting you know that they're there. And, yeah, this is very subtle because they are doing some work, but it's not it's hard to discern, it's hard to really perceive, it's at a very subtle level. But there's kind of this shimmering that's happening in the space. And shifting of of, kind of like a clearing out that's happening. There is a lot that's happening, uh they're different than alien. I mean, there might be some elegant beings that are alien, but, uh, I mean, I'm not familiar with all of them. Uh, Elegant beings are basically higher dimensional beings, and it some of them have very specific purposes, uh, like Lantos, which, that's one that I'm very familiar with. Um My sense is that they are basically different than aliens. Aliens are more like a different civilization from humans. Elegant beings are, yeah, that feels like that's like another dimensional level. Huh. At least that's my sense for now. And it depends on what aliens we're talking about, because there's some alien beings that are not so friendly, that like to do experiments with people on human beings to, like, like we used to dissect frogs and things like that in science class, so kind of the same thing. So when you think about it, it's like they're doing it on humans, and it's like, "Eh," even though we were fine doing it on frogs and animals. Yeah. I mean, good aliens. Yeah, I know you did I just bringing that up because, there's a lot of different categories, identifications of aliens. Lots. Yeah, the sense I'm getting is that they're just from a different level. We do it on them according to this document here. Yeah, there's some evidence of that when they've somehow ended up here. Um, there's certainly mention of the government doing that on, like, Area 52 and all that stuff. Let's take another deep breath in. So let's just kinda putting aside for a minute, not that it wasn't, distracting, but let's kinda put aside the mental piece here of trying to figure out who they are or where they come from, and feel into their presence. Mm. So again, feeling yourself sitting in that circle of awakened human beings. Mm. And beyond that, to whatever distance feels like it seems like you feel it, is it's I literally it's almost like seeing a crown, but it's like these points of light, with color to them. And actually, I'm starting to see kind of a grid, patterning that's going, um, coming from each, coming from it's not coming from those points of light, but it's more like, that that connected, they're connected to kind of a grid-like structure of existence. Okay. Hey, hola, Anna. Take a deep breath in and join us into this very quiet circle. Come into your being, Anna. I'll guide you quickly here because it's kind of an interesting space. Feel arms length out. So get centered. And then arms length out. And it's like we're sitting in a circle of beings. Hey, Dancing in Bloom. Hi, guys. So kind of getting a sense of you sitting in a circle of kind of focusing on awakened human beings, right? Or awakening at least. So feel that circle. You're just joining in now. Feel yourself like you're just sitting in this circle. Pretty wide circle, but that's good. And then beyond that is there's like a circle of points of light. I'm seeing colored lights. So it's a very quiet space. There is, I'm not really, I have a sense of it more that I'm, can discern it. So it's a little bit out of my discerning range here. There is some work being done in this space. Uh, through them. And they are here too. There's the elegant beings. I'm also getting a sense of the elementals that are here. Yeah, and some geometric shapes, sacred geometry, I guess, that's showing up. So we're kind of in an interesting space here. Not our usual coming into being. Yeah, anchoring everybody in. What do you mean by elementals? Well, the elements, so fire, water. So elementals are kind of beings that are, how to put it? It connects up to the elements. So we see the elements as being kind of not a lot of the stuff in our existence. We have a tendency to see as non-beings, like the elements: fire, water, earth, air, ether. There's a level at which, like fifth dimensional, higher up level, where they really have kind of they're kind of beings. So that's elementals, meaning those that being of the element. Uh, so they personification isn't quite the right thing, because with personification, what happens is like we give it the shape, the form, the behavior of a human being. And that's way beyond that, if that makes sense. So that's an interesting point, because there's a lot of people who have this personified vision of Earth, with Mother Earth. But the Earth is not, really doesn't have that personified aspect. Um, it is a being in the sense that it has its own consciousness, its own um, a state of being, kind of thing. So at a deeper level, beyond the physical. but it's different. Personification, it gets into how humans uh, put the identity of human onto something. And that's very different, if that makes sense. Same with angels. There's a lot of personification of what we might categorize as angels. And they will come through. So beings will come through with that kind of shape because that's something that we can identify and understand. Whereas if they were to show up in some geometric form, we'd be going like, what the hell is that? You know, kind of thing. So coming into your breath, let's get everybody realigned a little bit more deeply. You can feel that alignment coming into more precision, that inner alignment. And grounding you all. And so a new grounding here. There's a real lightness to this grounding. So let me take that out, and I'll give you a differential, a comparison. Okay, so let me just ground you into the earth and see how that feels. And notice the density of that. And density, like you think of rock, you know, a boulder is dense, yeah, has a weight to it. So there's kind of that feeling. So that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but just to notice that. Okay, now kind of scratch that. Let's take a deep breath in and let's do this new grounding. Hey, Antoinette. Yeah, feel heaviness in the legs. Now, okay, so um, let's get into that new grounding. Uh, so this is grounding into the planet in at a very different level, actually. It's almost kind of fifth dimensional grounding. Oh. So notice the difference. So to me, this one feels that there's a lightness. There's it's not dense, and yet it also feel very present. You know, whereas before we'd have to really get grounded into the earth and really pull ourselves down, and this is very, very different feeling. So if you feel a difference, just comment in. So a lot of this is about coming into into that new. Into a new state of being, new state of doing everything since the beginning of the year. And you should be able to feel your whole body with this too, because it's not something that's up. It is your full body, but just there's it's a very different quality than the grounding we used to do like last year, even as late as last year. More even all over. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah, very nice. Happy birthday, Antoinette. Thanks for showing. Nice to have you show up on your birthday. That's great. Yeah, if anybody else has any other comments on how this session felt for them, very different. So it was kind of cool. Okay, it says here I can't post to messages to some channels. Okay, I'm getting mostly, I think all of these are YouTube, so I don't know if anything's off with Facebook, but sorry guys, if you're on Facebook, you can always hop over to YouTube if you want. But yeah, so Ilaria, let's take a deep breath in. I'll kind of check in on people here a little bit. And yeah, take a deep breath in. Let's get you a little bit of nourishment because my God, you're just your system is really showing up as you're completely undernourished is the best way I could describe it. So let's bring you in some of that deeper nourishment. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. Your system is just kind of like going into it basically crying because of just this, you know, when you have it, when you're starving and then you start eating again, you're just like, kind of that kind of reaction. So glad you showed up today. Letting yourself feel that. Just drink it up. Yeah, letting yourself drink up. And so this is going to everybody. You can all kind of feel that for yourself. I'm focusing more on Ilaria for this moment, but letting that nourishment come into you. And let that keep flowing through. Yeah. And just there's a lot that's releasing out of you. I don't know if you're really feeling it on your end, but yes, I will check you in. I'll go through everybody. Definitely. But a lot, yeah. So just a lot of stress that's releasing from you. So really drink it up. I'll come back and check in on you, Ilaria, but really just feel yourself with every breath like you're just taking that deeper nourishment of that in that you're in here with us. So that's really coming through. It's like it's just pouring right into you, you know. It's almost like the way I'm seeing it's like this thick liquid light that's coming into you from above. So you can kind of imagine that literally filling you up from above. Okay, let's see. Let's go to Anna. I'm just going to go down the line as okay, Anna. Yes, you're kind of scattered, but little not surprising with all the kids around. But there's a way that you can have all the kids around and not be so scattered. So let's shift that for you. So come into your center. I feel it as well. Okay, nice. Thanks, Kayla, for that comment. So, Anna, imagine that straight line down the center. Oh. All the way down. Yeah, let's really straight that one out. And let me pull that all the way down through you. I'm going to kind of force you into that, push you, hold you into that. Yeah. You're not used to being so centered. That's part of the thing. You're used to like it, and it's kind of funny because you can be you have a way of being able to be centered like mid chest on down, but everything up above is kind of going like this in all directions. So let's really focus on aligning that for you. And so there's a little bit of a yes, but comment at your spirit going, yeah, but I have to like pay attention to all the stuff going around me. It's like, yes, and you can actually do it better when you're centered in that place and really centered all the way through, aligned all the way through. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that's starting to come in better now for you. Good. Okay, so that might feel a little disorienting, Anna. Right now, I'm kind of seeing your spine go, from just the being reoriented into a new place. So now to really kind of keep track of everything in a centered way, really come into that center alignment and comment back, Anna. So staying in that centered place. So focusing like on your spine, but at the neck level. Well, let's do the chest and neck, and your nose, the tip of your nose, both places. Keeping your awareness there, and then expanding what you are aware of. So I call it peripheral awareness because it's like you're aware of what's around. Your main focus is on those points, but yeah. So do this with me. So centered tip of your nose and your spine, especially upper spine, all the way in the neck and upper back. But you can do your whole spine. Expanding out to arm's length out. You can expand out even further out to include your whole freaking house if you need to. Or even further. I'm saying house because the kids are probably not going to be going out of the house without you or with somebody else. So that keeps you in a better, more centered place, centered in yourself, centered in your being, in your body. You're not extending yourself out. You're just allowing your awareness to pick up the information from further out. So let me know if that makes sense, other than it feels good. I'm glad it feels good, yeah. Let's see, Antoinette, my friend Antoinette. Yeah, let's what's really showing up for you is like hip level on down. There's a density there. So let's shift that for you because it's like it's overly structured. And there's not a good flow of energy going down your right leg. So let's clearing that up. Yeah, opening up that. Clearing out. I'll say that more. It's more like a clearing out of the first chakra. And getting that flow of energy all the way down. It doesn't matter if you have a hip replacement. It can still flow through the physical tissue. Yeah, there we go. That's better. We're getting all that all the way down to the foot, both feet, making sure both that right and left are more balanced. Into the ground. And let's just connect it all the way through that middle column there. Okay, that's good. That's better. Dealing with autoimmune issues at present affecting leg muscles. The right hip still weak. Yeah, I'm not surprised because that was so blocked up. And just this is a lot of density, literally hips on down. So the left leg seems to be doing okay. Part of the autoimmune system is, well, there's something with the bone. Uh, with that right hip, because there's that lack of flow of energy in on that right side especially. Um, that's my sense of that connection to the autoimmune, because the bone is a really important part. The bone marrow is a really important part of the immune system. For those of you who don't know it, um, that's one of the parts of our immune system. Um, and there's a resistance. Well, let's see if we can shift that at that deeper level. Resistance to non. Let me just put it, non-human tissue in your body, if that makes sense. So if you have any metal parts in there, it's like there's something in your system is going, no, get this out of here. Kind of thing, not accepting it, able to live with it, but it's like, yeah, so there's a tension there. So let's see if we can shift that for you. Yeah, something flashed through. That's a really old pattern for actually. Oh, really, and old. I mean, old as in not way beyond just this lifetime. Um, and it's a pattern. So before, it's showing up in your physical body, but my sense is that before, the pattern was actually this is people. Just that kind of friction is the best way I can put it. Simplest way to put it, between you and something else. It's really old. And it could be you, part of your group and another group, or just you and another person or another group. It kind of comes down to the us and them kind of thing. Uh, but us and them, I mean, us and them might not be, isn't always a bad thing, but here, there's just that patterning for you that was always that friction, and just that, it's like almost animosity. So let's shift that for you. Resolve that piece for your spirit levels, so that, here we go. That's starting to release now. Ooh, it feels like it's letting go of a lot. What I would say, gangrene, kind of yucky green stuff that's releasing out of your system from that lower half. That was a big piece, yeah, and at some level, like, with the green stuff, I mean, that's like, um, what's the word? Not gangrene, but kinda gangrene, just this, uh, deterioration of tissue at that non-physical level that's still that's gotten carried over from the past. So let me know how that feels. Yeah, keep shifting that for you. That should feel more open in the legs there. It's in process, so the legs are really lightening up. There's still some density around. Felt the flow going out. Thank you for insights and gifts of this mini session. Yeah, you're welcome. Happy birthday. Um, yeah, that definitely feels better. There's a bit more work that could be done. It's like there's a point on the back of your spine, on your spine. It's a little bit. It's in the lumbar area. I want to say maybe lumbar 3, 4. I'm not sure, but it's a little bit up from the sacrum. It's like there's a thing nailed in, um, and there's a stuck point. So that just kind of opened up this whole other ball game going on. But get that. Let's see. Just kind of get that start to flow for you. Let's see. We have Kayla. Kayla. All right. Okay, Kayla, you're showing up like a little pixie for some reason, um, jumping around and just like you're really excited and you're kind of jumping around to all these things that you're kind of excited about. That's a little bit unfocused, but I mean that can be fine and fun. And then let's see. Okay, so we're gonna integrate all that, what you're excited about, so that you can take in that excitement and bring it into you and sort of expand from that place of excitement instead of kind of jumping around in all directions. Yeah. Hey, Matthew, coming in at the last minute. It's usually where this is usually about our ending time, just FYIs, but it's nice for you to show up. It's been a lot of heaviness too that is distracting me. Yeah, that could be part of why you're acting. So you're kind of like really poke, picking up on just the little pieces of excitement. So I'm just going to focus on really bringing that excitement in for you. Uh, it's almost like the heaviness is just a distraction. Well, and as you say that, just notice that word there. Yeah. So if you notice that the excitement will be within and the heaviness is actually external to you. So by jumping out of yourself with the excitement that's kind of breaking you up a little bit, um, catch at the endings. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. I know it's really early in Hawaii for you, but yeah, feel that, Kayla, because it's like that's giving you instead of like reaching outside for the excitement, bring it inside and then build that up. And then now what's starting to happen is you're kind of more solid and the heaviness is just around you. So that's just pushing off kind of thing. Ah, okay, Matthew, let's do a quick one for you. Um, Take a deep breath in and hold it for me. Oh, yeah. pull that grounding in for you. Just grounding yourself will help you to release a lot of that heaviness. We've got a visiting doggy here. I just saw it walk by. Oh. Yeah, and you've got a lot of emotional stuff that is coming up. That's part of what keeps you from really getting grounded, is you don't want to feel stuff that's internal, that you've been kind of just saying, ignoring isn't the right word, but just kind of putting on the back burner because you don't want to really look at it because it feels like there's too much of it. The problem is that you're just keep piling up more and more and more. So just wanting to acknowledge that, to see that, realize that, yeah, and there's release of some of that. So instead of just saying, I don't feel that, here's another option, is just say, oh, okay, yeah, I do feel that. I feel whatever, that frustration, that sadness. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of grief. There's a lot of hopelessness. There's, so just like noticing what comes up in the moment, taking a deep breath in, acknowledging it, saying, I'm feeling that sadness. I'm noticing that sadness. Not saying I am sad. Separating that out from you. It's just something, an emotion that's getting expressed. Take a deep breath in, and you can do like just blow it away. Another thing is to every night just write down on a piece of paper what you want to clear out. Doesn't have to be a big piece of paper, just a little piece of paper. Doesn't have to be a lot. And then just put it on next to your bed and say, okay, I'm releasing this. Put it there. And the next morning, just tear it up, the piece of paper, saying, okay, I'm done with this. And that is a way to help release a lot of the going on in the psyche kind of thing. Great. Thank you guys so much for showing up. So next week we will do a kind of group meditation, a little bit like this, but a little bit different. We'll talk about it afterwards. And so kind of starting in a little bit of a different format with Coming to Being, but next week we'll be here live. The following we'll be here live, and we'll do also, again, a kind of coming into, that state of being meditation kind of thing. And then the last one will be offline for people to practice. I'll be doing it on my end to practice. The Pure Life Infusion series is starting on our February is starting Monday. You can go to my website, unboundedandfree.com, and it's under the frequency sessions, and you can get more information there. But we're really going to thank you, Laria. Kisses to you too. We're going to be going deeper into that, resetting ourselves at the rhythmic and cyclical, getting back into our own rhythm, our own cycles at a deeper level. So not very expensive, 4 times a month. So I hope you can join us. I know some of you have joined us already. January apply was amazing. We'll definitely be signing up in February. Yeah, we had a really interesting. So January kind of focused on rhythm and really getting back into that natural rhythm, because so much of things are automated, even in terms of how people do their intuitive process or their healing work. Things that you would assume is not automated is kind of, that deeper flow. And it's not. And I've got stories around that. You get these healers who come in and they start doing all kind of this little setup, and the ritual is okay. But there's a way that people do ritual where it's always exactly the same thing over and over again. And then that starts to box you in, and that's no longer natural. It becomes very automated, very robotic, even in some instances. So So that's coming up, and good to see you guys. And again, happy birthday, Antoinette. It's really nice to have you show up. I'm glad you could show up for your birthday. That was a treat for me too, and all of you. So if you have any other comments, please comment in. Yeah, and the ply, so there is the focus on cycles, getting into those really more natural cycles, but then there's a lot of other really deep clearing that we do each week with Happy Birthday Antoinette from Kayla, that we do along with that, really going into a deeper state. And also the people who do the ply get a special extra attention during the silent meditations that we do. Good to see you too. We'll check out the website. Yeah, unboundedandfree.com. And thank you, dancing. Yes, she's danced away there. Happy birthday, Antoinette, from Ilaria. Yeah, and Ilaria had a birthday real soon, not too long ago also. About a month ago, right, Ilaria? I think it was January 3rd, if I remember, or January 2nd. So very good. All right, guys, thanks for showing up. It's good to see you next week. Stop on by for a slightly different thing, but kind of along the same lines. So, and that's the 3rd, yes. So, and thank you, Ilaria from Antoinette. I don't know if you guys can see that because you're everybody's on YouTube. I don't know how the comments show up on YouTube. They don't seem to be on after we're done here. So, all right, thanks everybody for showing up today, live or post facto, and we will see you next week.